book reviews I've done this year, but I haven't had as many books that I wanted to talk about like for a full book review. Plus I've been a little bit lazy, let's be honest. But the one that I am excited about and ready to do a whole book review for is The Pursuit of Love by Nancy Mitford. This is the first in a trilogy of like semi-related books. It involves some of the same characters in some of the books. The Pursuit of Love is about the Radlett family. They are very eccentric and unique and quirky, and Uncle Matthew, who made me laugh out loud so much throughout this. And there was at one point he was having a conversation with someone where they asked him if he had read a certain book, and he said, "No, I've only read White Fang and it's perfect, so why would I read anything else?" So he only reads White Fang by Jack London. That's like the only book he will ever read. He's just determined he will never read anything that he will like as much as White Fang, even though he's only read White Fang. So that made me laugh out loud. And then there is Aunt Sadie, and she's kind of aloof, kind of in the picture, kind of not. There are 7 Radlett children, and then there's their cousin, and Fanny is the narrator, and she is a cousin whose mother is really not in the picture, and she is living with her Aunt Emily, who is a really kind caregiver to her, but she is caring for Fanny all the time, so sometimes when she wants a break, she sends Fanny to stay with the Radletts and Alconley. And like I said, this is just a very quirky and hysterical family, and they like make charts of who they think has good breeding and who doesn't have good breeding. And so Fanny is the narrator, but kind of the main character of this is her cousin Linda. And when the book starts out, it's very lighthearted, it's very humorous. And what I thought was really interesting and special about this book is as the girls get older and there are more serious things that they're dealing with, falling in love, falling out of love, having babies, the war is starting, the book gets a lot more serious as they grow up. And I thought that was really special, and that's how life is. You know, when you're a child, you view things through a child's eyes, and you don't understand kind of the real consequences of things and the more sober sides of life. You're really oblivious, and then it's really heartbreaking as you get older to see that life is full of these really hard things. And so it starts out, you know, lots of jokes, lots of anecdotes with Uncle Matthew, and the kids are just so funny. And then, like I said, as there's the impending war, and one of the characters in particular just keeps making poor life decisions, it just gets a lot more serious, and it has a lot sadder of a tone to it. So I was kind of caught off guard, but like I said, I kind of found it refreshing because this is based on real events inspired by the Mitford family that obviously Nancy was a part of, and real things that happened to them. I think it's really neat to see kind of the contrast in this, the humor with the sadness, and characters that are making sort of more prudent decisions as opposed and contrasted with these characters that are making more foolish decisions, and seeing them just juxtaposed against one another, and the one who is just very happy with the life decisions that she's made, and then another character who just like she can't seem to just pick something and settle. And there are very serious issues happening at the time. Obviously it's the impending war, and Hitler is becoming a, you know, more notorious. Some of the characters that you know in this are kind of on board with what Hitler is proposing should happen. And so it's really interesting to see also these characters, how when they grow and evolve as adults, how different they can all become. And since this is a modern classic, it was written in the year 1945, there is a fair amount of really beautiful writing in here. And so there were some passages that I had to just stop and read several times to really enjoy and soak it in. And then I ended up underlining a fair amount. And so one such passage is talking about the early hours of the morning in Paris. The people welcome a new day as if they were certain of liking it. The shopkeepers pull up their blinds serene in the expectation of good trade. The workers go happily to their work. The people who have sat up all night in nightclubs go happily to their rest. The orchestra of motor car horns, of clanking trams, of whistling policemen tunes up for the daily symphony, and everywhere is joy. One thing that I didn't maybe enjoy as much about this is that the narrator, who is very likable, Fanny, is unfortunately not really doesn't quite feel like a main character. You feel that she's very much at arm's length, that you don't get to know her much. You hear vaguely about the details of her life, but you don't feel that you get to know her so much as you do Linda, who she's telling Linda's story, basically. You get to see, you know, Linda's life a lot more than hers. So then I was excited to see, not in Love in a Cold Climate is the sequel, but in the third book in the trilogy, which is Don't Tell Alfred. Fanny is the main character of that one. So I feel that I'll get to know her better in that one. So I do think that character development is maybe not the strongest in this one. It's basically you get the character development of Linda, but there was something about this book, maybe it was Nancy Mitford's writing style, that I just really adored. I really love this book. But I think since I felt kind of at arm's length for many of the characters, that's why it didn't get 5 stars for me. But I still really enjoyed this. That's just me as a reader. You know, I am such a character reader. Some of the characters feel quite caricatured, like Uncle Matthew and Aunt Sadie, and even Aunt Emily and Aunt Emily's husband, who is kind of a hypochondriac. And so you see these funny quirks about all these people, but you don't feel that you necessarily get to know them very well. So I think it's more, like I said, it's more Linda's story. And so I think if you go in with the right expectations, you will enjoy this. But it is not definitely like heavy on the character writing, but it was just the way it was written and the way the events were told. There's just something special and really unique about this book. So I'm really excited that I enjoyed this. I did not enjoy Christmas Pudding by Nancy Mitford, so I had put off any of her other books for a while. I highly enjoyed The Pursuit of Love and I really recommend it. Please comment down below if you have read it and what you thought on the character development and just the writing in general. And I will see you guys for another video soon. Bye.